Hey y'all, welcome back to our Very Bookish channel, and welcome to one of our most anticipated TBR jar vlogs.
Welcome to another TBR jar read. Me and Amanda pick from this jar. We each have our own jar, and every other month we pick from titles that we had gone over from our most anticipated videos, where we go over all the books that we are really anticipating. This time I had picked a Ruth Ware book. And I remember I was a little on the fence of even putting that in the jar because I haven't had the best time with her books. I was one of the people that didn't really like The Woman in Cabin 10. I actually DNF'd that book back a few years back when I tried reading it. I just wasn't feeling it, and I thought maybe I would go back to it. I just at the time wasn't in the mood for it. I didn't think it was bad. It just wasn't catching my interest. And then I had read The It Girl. I had an arc for The It Girl. And there was a plot hole in that one that I could not stop thinking about. And I thought they would resolve it by the end, and it was not resolved. I feel like it was glaring in my opinion. So it made me not really want to go back to her books. But I had read a description, I remember, for One Perfect Couple, which is the book that I picked out of here. And I thought, okay, maybe I will try one more time and see if maybe this one will be one that I enjoy by her. I didn't know if I should do library or audio. I definitely didn't want to buy the book, especially since I'm not sure I'm really going to like it. I ended up finding it on Hoopla, so I didn't go physically and get it. I just did Hoopla. I did start it, but I'm not very far. And it's just about a reality TV show, and you're seeing a couple at the beginning, and they're discussing if they should apply for this reality TV show, and they end up getting chosen, and that's as far as I got. So I will update you guys when I get further in it and let you know if I'm enjoying it or not, or is it going to be in DNF. We'll see, but I'll see you guys soon.
Now in this video, I'm going to be reading Darkwater Daughter by H.M. Long, and I have the book here that on my Kobo that I am going to be reading. I will pop a picture up here so you can see the cover of the book better. But I'm excited to get into this book because it is, I believe it's young adult. It's not terribly long, and I have been in the worst reading slump of my life. Now, one of the reasons I've been in a slump is I have been distracted by a project. I've told you all it was a project, and it is. And as you can see, my background has changed because I moved. Yes, my husband and I are in the process of selling our old house, and we have purchased a new home and moved into a new home. So we are very excited. I love my new house. She does need a lot of work, okay? A lot of painting, a lot of little fixes here and there, decorating. Like, I'm not very creative and good at decorating, so I'm probably gonna have to pull lots of inspiration from Pinterest. But I just am so excited. This house just has so much, and y'all, I'm going to have my very own library in this house. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Right now, I can't show you the library right now because it's just full of boxes and stuff that we need to unpack and we need to move. But this has been such a long, drawn out process. I've spent all summer updating my old home, painting it, fixing it up, just fixing all the little things here and there that need to be done. You know, we had to paint back steps, and we've had to, oh my gosh, I have a sunroom in my old house, and I had to scrape all the old paint off of these windows where it had just been old and cracked and was not good looking, and repaint them all. And that room has taken us, I painted the walls, we put new flooring down, I painted the ceiling. It has been a process. And I just fixed up my old house to sell, and now I'm gonna have to start all over and do all the things in this house. And this is a bigger house, so there's a lot more here to do, but we're working on it. And I am going to vlog some of the updates and changes as I work on them. I'm going to include some of the home DIY projects and updates that I make in the vlogs. So stay tuned if that's something that you're interested in. We did rent a Penske truck to help us with the moving, and big truck to, obviously fit all of our stuff in. And when you are talking about all of your furniture and all of your things in a whole house, it's a lot. You guys have a lot more than you probably realize. And my TBR books, it's embarrassing, y'all. My husband was like, seriously? This is the 5th box of books that are labeled TBR because I separated them out a while ago. And I have so much reading to do, y'all. I have so much catching up to do. But yeah, you just don't even realize I don't even know how many books I have. I'm going to count them once I can get my library together, which I'm so excited for. And we'll see how many books I have, but I have a lot. Like, I didn't even realize how many books I had, because you just buy, a couple here, a couple there. Maybe you unhaul a few, you buy a couple more, and they just add up, and you just don't know how many you have. Oh, Prim. So like I said, I'm very excited to be in this new house, and I am going to show you more about the house as I go. But first, let's get into this book, Darkwater Daughter, H.M. Long. I don't know much about this book. This was on a Most Anticipated, and I did pull it out of the TBR jar for our September Most Anticipated video. So if you want to see that, then you can go back and watch our September TBR. So this is what I will be reading, and all I know is that it's like a pirate book. It takes place on the sea, and it's kind of reminding me of The Pirate King's Daughter, which I really liked. I really, really liked that book. So hopefully this will give me just the same good vibe.
I'm about 20% in. I was listening with my headphones as I was working on some laundry, and so far so good. I feel like I am interested in the story. The characters aren't annoying me yet, and it's being read, since I'm doing audiobook, it's being read pretty good. Like, I don't feel like it's an annoying narrator or anything like that. And a little bit about the story. You are seeing 5 different couples, and it's a reality show where they are trying to find the one perfect couple to get a cash prize. But it's like a typical reality show where they're pretty sure they're going to be pitted against each other to cause drama, to get ratings. And the couple they keep showing are Nico and I think her name was Lila. I'm pretty sure it was Lila. And he's an actor. She is pretty much a scientist. I know she tries to correct them, but they refer to her as a scientist. And so far, the only thing that's happened is they've gotten onto the show. They're traveling to the deserted island, and you are getting these weird chapters that something's coming. So I think what's happening is the main chapters are leading up to the deserted island. You're meeting the characters, and then in between the chapters, they're showing what I think is the future, and obviously something happened, because it's not giving you a lot of information, but it's meant, I think, to propel you further into the story. Supposedly they are stranded and calling for help, and they're leaving you little clues as to murders are happening, and you don't know who yet. I am interested enough to see what's going to happen, so I'm not DNFing as of right now, and I don't have the physical book to see what page I am, but I'm about 25% in, which would be over 100 pages, I think, if I remember correctly after I looked. So I will be back to let you guys know how it's going, and hopefully it still continues to go well. We'll see. I just want to say, with the It Girl that I had read, I actually didn't really I went through the whole book, and the plot hole was pretty much at the end. I realized they never explained something, and a character knew something there's no way he could have known, and they never explain it. I got to the end on that one, so there's a chance I'll still finish it and not like it and not want to continue with Ruth Ware, but I'm not going to go that far ahead. I'm not going to worry about that at the current moment. I will be back with more thoughts.
All right, y'all, quick update. I am on chapter 7. I am about 15% into the ebook, and I am really having a good time so far. I know books always start off really good for me. Like, I rarely start a book from the beginning and just hate it from the beginning. There have been like 2 books recently out of the 100 that I've read that has happened to me. So the book started off really fun. So you're following a young woman, and she has a ability. I guess she's sort of like a siren. She's not calling herself that. She's not saying she's a siren, but she has an ability to call wind with her voice and her song. So she is highly sought after by pirates because they want to entrap her and enslave her and make her sing so that they can have the winds to help, push their boats wherever they want to go, either to a treasure, to attack another boat, or away from a port or something where they're wanted or there's some kind of threat to them. So she's very highly sought after once they figure out what she is. And she inherited this seemingly from her mother. So this is a very interesting story because you're getting different points of view. You're getting her point of view. You're getting a male point of view who works for a pirate, and his job was to purchase her when she went up for auction. So you are getting his point of view, and you're also getting the point of view of, I believe it's her mother, from when her mother was a child and just discovered her ability to call winds and do things with her singing and her voice. So it's very interesting. It's not overwhelming point of views. In the past point of view from her, I believe it's her mother, I'm not quite sure, but the past point of view from her mother is very short, very tiny little sections. So it's been fun. And I do love a dual POV romantasy. I just think it's so fun to get both sides of the story, as far as like what the woman's thinking, what the man is thinking. And I love it when you get dual point of views for romance books or romantasy books. So that's been very fun. And I am glad that we do have both point of views in this book. Bella is over here wanting me to pick her up, and she is my old lady. She doesn't come out very often, so I just want to pick her up and show her to you guys. This is my little Chihuahua. Yeah, she kind of minds her own business and sits back in her hole. You don't see her very often, but she had the urge to come out. Yeah, you want to be on camera? Huh? Well, so sweet. Isn't my sweet little girl? So sweet. Anyways, that's all my thoughts on the book so far. Only 15% in, so hopefully the book will remain good. I hope. I hope it keeps my interest and keeps me entertained and remains to be good, but that shall be seen.
I haven't gotten much further in The Perfect Couple, but there was something I wanted to show you guys. I saw in a Facebook group for my local community, and it's a little free library, but it looks like it's painted. Well, you'll see. I'm not going to ruin it. I want to show you guys, and I'm going to pick a book to take to the little free library. And I mostly want to show you just because of how it's painted, but hopefully it'll have a good book too. So you'll see in a minute. I love that little free library. And they also have the Sherry LaPina. I didn't even read this one. I still have a few of hers that I need to read. So that was also a bonus find. Typically, I don't even find anything at the little free libraries, but I'm gonna stop at Trader Joe's next, and depending on how busy they are and if there's anything interesting, I might take you guys along and record some in Trader Joe's. They probably have a lot of cool fall stuff. I wanna see what flowers they have, so you might see that next. As you saw, I tried to do some recording, but I kept feeling like I was in the way, and it didn't seem busy at first, but then it seemed like there were a ton of people in there. So I'm just going to show a few things that I got that I wanted to share from Trader Joe's. First of all, loving the flowers, even though you saw how picked over, I wanted to film just how picked over Trader Joe's is on a Sunday night at 5 o'clock. Everyone was probably there this morning, but these actually, I feel like looked really good. So I was happy to get some flowers. Brazilian cheese bread. If you guys have not tried this, I've been telling everybody about this. They are tiny little round bread bites almost. They're just like, you can maybe take like 2 bites from them. And I've never had anything like this. If you guys haven't tried this, I feel like you would really like it, especially if you like bread. It's not overly cheesy, and it has something called tapioca flour, which I never heard of before, but these things are amazing. I tend to make them when we have a dinner at home. I tend to make it as like a little side bread to have with dinner, and I love these so much. There were a couple things I haven't tried yet, and I feel like that's why I love going to Trader Joe's, because you get a chance to try different things. They're always introducing something new. Every time I shop there, I see something new. I love apples, and these look so huge. I thought it would be perfect to take in. I usually take my lunch every day to work, and it actually says juicy with a refreshing snappy zing. But I'm a huge apple lover, so I grabbed these to see how they are. They did have a lot of pumpkin things. I'm not a huge pumpkin fan. I do like some things like the pumpkin chai drink at Starbucks, and I love pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, but I don't feel like I'm someone who likes pumpkin in everything. But I did try when I was looking at all that stuff. It's not pumpkin, but cinnamon coffee cake muffins. I thought that might be a good breakfast item, so I did pick those up. Another new item, they always have a lot of different pizzas, but this one has brie cheese and tomatoes on a flatbread, and I'm a huge brie cheese fan, so I thought that might actually taste good, and I picked that up. The last thing I want to go over is the root beer. They're called root beer float bars. The last couple summers, we have been getting these from Trader Joe's, and they're just delicious. I absolutely love them. Me and my boyfriend love these. And if you haven't tried them, that's usually the last chance you can get them is around now, because I feel like it's usually a summer item. But those were all the Trader Joe items I thought I would share with you guys. And an update for the perfect couple. A lot has happened when I was driving around to the 2 places. I was listening to a lot of the book. I don't know how much I want to say, but there was a questionnaire that the couples had to fill out. And they already made a decision as to who is being voted off this island, which I didn't know exactly how that was going. They kind of told you that you were probably going to get voted off because the character you keep seeing the point of view, Lila, she keeps wanting to, she can only really be there for 2 weeks because of her work. So you're seeing her point of view a lot. I don't want to say who got voted off, but some things happen, and then a big storm happens. Things are escalating really quickly, and at first I thought my update was going to say no one was really murdered. I know murder is going to happen, but the storm was so powerful that there are some casualties happening from the storm. So that's where I was and ended, and I feel right now riveted. The other thing I wanted to say that I didn't expect from this book, And I don't remember this from the It Girl, and I don't know when I DNF'd The Woman in Cabin 10. I thought it was pretty close to the beginning. I just wasn't feeling the book at the time. But this is really, I don't know if it's intended to be, but I feel like there's a lot of humor. I don't know if it's because of the way the audio, because I'm listening to audio, if it's just the way the narrator is reading it, that it's coming off just really humorous and really funny. But I didn't expect that, so I am enjoying it because of that. But it did just get really serious. I don't know if there's going to be humor for the rest of it. We will see. But I will be back once I read more and let you guys know some more thoughts.
Hey y'all, I have continued to read Darkwater Daughter. I'm having a good time with it. It's really fun. It is interesting. It has slowed just a little bit. The plot has slowed a little bit, but you're getting to the part where you need more information. So it's a little more information-y and less action-y, but I'm still really interested, still invested. It's still going well. But the reason that I am jumping on here right now is because I went to Costco and oh my gosh, I spent way too much money, y'all. I don't want to talk about it. I just don't even want to talk about it. But I went to Costco, and right across the street from Costco is a mall that has a Books A Million. So I just thought I would stop in here to browse the Books A Million for Jen some birthday gifts. It's really exciting. I love birthday shopping for Jen. I already have a few things that I'm really excited to share with her, but I need a few more items to put in her birthday box, and I am not going to show you guys what I'm getting her in this video. We are going to include that in another video that's going to be coming probably mid-November, maybe late November or early December. So stay tuned for that. But I am going to bring you along so you can just take a browse at the Books A Million with me. I am really excited because I haven't actually been to a Books A Million in probably about 4 months. So y'all know it's been a very busy summer for me, moving and everything. I haven't been focused on reading. I haven't had time or money to go shopping for books. So I'm really excited to get the opportunity to come back in here. I just couldn't resist. While I was across the street at the Costco, I couldn't resist coming by to do a little browse and maybe pick up something for Jen for her birthday. So let's go, you guys. Let's just get in here and let's see what this Books A Million's got.
I have an update on One Perfect Couple, and it's not the best update. I have hit a patch with it that it just feels very slow and kind of, I don't know, to me, boring. I am not enjoying listening to it right now. And I hate that feeling that sometimes you're just like, oh, can I just get to the end of this? It's not a good feeling and not a good sign for a book. And I felt like, as you saw in my last clip, I felt like it was showing some humor. I was invested in the story, but we're at a part where things are getting revealed as to some hidden agendas with people, and some people need to make decisions. And I'm just trying to do this without creating spoilers, but they have to make decisions on how to handle the situation because they are stranded. And yeah. So I don't know what else to say that isn't going to spoil it, other than I just kind of want it to be over. And I don't want to DNF because I am well into it. I think I have, I want to say like 2 hours left to listen to. So I'm close enough to the end that I'm hoping that it redeems itself. I'm hoping there's some plot twist, or you get more information that's going to turn it back around. Maybe it's just that slow middle part that sometimes books have. That's my hope and wish. but we will see. I will let you guys know. I'm either going to just finish and come back for final thoughts, or I will let you guys know if some crazy plot twist or something happens. I will react to it and talk about it, maybe, depending. And so I'll see you in either case. So I'll see you soon.
I have a couple of updates for you. A book update. I am about 53% into the ebook, and I'm still really liking it so far. It's very fun, fast paced. I did look it up to see if it is YA, and it is not YA, so I was wrong about that book, either on the TBR where I drew it or in the beginning of this video. I can't remember, or maybe both. I might have spoke about it both, but I mentioned that I thought this was YA, and it's not listed as YA. However, I haven't come across anything that's necessarily inappropriate for a YA audience yet. I am only 53% into the book, so it's possible there are some maybe spicy scenes or possibly a lot of violence or something that happens at the end. But so far, so good. I do think, it would be fine for a YA reader. The language and the writing, though, doesn't feel YA necessarily. It's just, I don't know why I thought it was YA.
I am back, and obviously there was nothing that I felt I needed to react to as I finished One Perfect Couple. Unfortunately, it did not get better, it just got worse. I was not a fan of this book. I enjoyed a lot of the beginning. I thought it was going to end up being a Ruth Ware book that I enjoyed and liked. But towards the middle, I felt like it really changed. There had been humor in it, and then that wasn't really there anymore. And it got into where they're stranded on this island, and the rest of the book, I just felt like it got worse and worse to the point where I was forcing myself to finish it just to see what happened. It got boring. I don't feel like anything was happening. And I want to say this before I say the next statement. It might be considered a spoiler. I don't know. I always feel like I don't really know what people consider spoilers, because I'm not going to say exactly what happened, but it could be a spoiler. So if you don't want to know any more about this book, probably move past the next thing I'm going to say. But it did not have any kind of twist. And I wasn't reading this just to get a twist. I don't need a huge plot twist in order to enjoy a thriller or any book. It's just, I was hoping for one at a point because of the way the book was going. And I thought that's why the book was going the way it was. I thought, okay, this is building this way, or I should say the opposite of building. It's falling apart or not seeming very good because there's going to be a huge twist. I almost convinced myself of this. There has to be. And no, it kind of just petered off and flopped. It was not a good book. I gave it 2 stars, but even thinking back on it, I almost want to give it 1 star. I don't feel it was a DNF per se. I think it was close to being a DNF. I did still want to know the ending. And that's the problem with me, though. I think that's just a character trait of mine, that it's really hard for me to DNF because I typically, I would say a large percentage of the time, want to know how a book ends, because I always feel that it's going to be something that if I didn't read, I didn't know, and it's going to be better than what I thought it was. And in this one, no, it wasn't. So hindsight's 2020. Like, after I read a book and it ends up not being good or not having what I thought it would give me, I then sometimes think, like, why did I finish it? But I wouldn't have known that before, obviously. So I am not going to read Ruth Ware again. I feel I am done. I think her books are just not for me. I know there are other books of hers that in the past I thought, oh, I want to read that, but I have a feeling her books are just not for me for whatever reason. And if you are a fan of Ruth Ware and you've read Ruth Ware, maybe you can let me know what books you really loved by her. I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't read another one. You'd have to really convince me to want to read another book of hers. I just don't I just don't. And it could be, again, audio is always different than reading it physically. There was nothing about any of the voices that I felt was contributing. It was the plot for sure, and the things that were happening, and I guess some of the characters. I just did not like this book. And maybe if I would have done it sooner, I could have picked a different book out of the TBR jar, because I want to say that I don't even know if it was this year or the past 2 years. I would say it's like 50-50 anymore with TBR jar. Sometimes I get books that I like, and sometimes they're either just meh or not good at all. And this goes into the not good at all, unfortunately. So those are my thoughts on One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I would love to hear anyone who has either read it and would love to share their thoughts, or read other Ruth Ware and share in the comments. Hopefully the next time we pick TBR jar, I am not going to be haunted yet again by another meh book. It's not enjoyable when that happens, but I have read so many great books this year that it's not that bad to have, a meh book in there. You have to read a few bad books along the way in order to really appreciate the good ones. So it's like life advice.
All right, y'all, we've finished Darkwater Daughter, and I have been struggling with what to say about this book. I have never felt more indifferent about any book in my entire life. I didn't hate the book. I didn't love the book. I don't know. I just feel like the book was just okay. I didn't find anything particularly special about it that I clinged to. I didn't really connect with the characters or feel a lot of emotions. I was just kind of along for the story, and I was just going along with the story. Whatever happened, happened. It really, nothing really bothered me about this book, and nothing really got me excited about the book, or I don't know. I just felt like the book was just mediocre in every sense of the word. In fact, I don't even know what else to say about it. So the characters. Let's talk about the characters for a second. I think that one reason I couldn't really connect with the characters was because I didn't get a sense of their strong emotions towards a person or against, something that was happening to them. It felt to me like the characters themselves were just kind of bebopping along in the book, and whatever happens happens. It didn't feel like high stakes, or it didn't feel like the characters were even that involved themselves. And I think that is one reason why I felt like the book was just okay. I think that the story, the plot points, and the setting and the idea that the author had was good. I think that there was a lot that could have been done with it, but like I said, it wasn't even that the writing was bad. The writing was okay too, but the writing didn't get you emotionally attached to anything going on in the book. And that's what we want as readers. We want those, oh my gosh, no, don't do that. Don't go in there. Don't open that door. Don't run up the stairs in those horror movies. We want that, like, oh no, you shouldn't have messed with her. Now her boyfriend's gonna come whoop your butt. Like, we want that kind of tension, that kind of drama. We want to feel connected. We want to feel things in the book. We want to be surprised. We want to be shocked. We want to be on that emotional roller coaster. And I really got nothing out of this book. So, needless to say, I'm not going to continue the series. I did find out it is a trilogy, and the other two books are already out, or the last book is coming out this year if it's not out already in 2025. So it is completed. So if you want to pick this book up, you can. And that's it, y'all. That's all that I have. That's all that I want to say about this book. When we do these most anticipated reads, we are taking chances on books. We are putting things on our most anticipated list that are out of our comfort zones, or authors we've never read before, or we throw books on the TBR that we think you guys are going to be interested in along with us. So all of our most anticipated reads are not going to be like 5-star bangers, and that's just the nature of the beast. That's just what happens with these sometimes. But I am looking forward to our next most anticipated book picks, because I love picking out of that little jar and seeing what kind of books that I get. And I also really want to read down my most anticipated reads. I have so many that I have really been excited about, really been looking forward to, and just haven't read yet. And at least pulling them from the jar and doing these vlogs forces me to read them and get them off my list. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Anyway, thanks again for watching TBR Jar Reads, and I'm sure we'll see you again next time. We have a lot of things in the pipeline, so please keep an eye out for many videos that will be coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys, and until next time.